Thanks for tuning into our channel. I'm Tish.
And I'm Trey.
And you're watching Tish and Trey. Okay, y'all, so today we wanted to come and just address a few comments that we've seen about our last video, which was apartment hunting in Merida, Mexico. A lot of people had a lot of different opinions, and we just wanted to clear some things up or just let y'all know some things. So we chose to look at those style apartments because we wanted to live on higher floors. There are a lot of townhomes, homes, like a lot of different areas, a lot of different places and a lot of different areas available. Like we mentioned in the previous video, like it's up to you. It's how you want to live. Like you set your budget, we have our budget, and you set your budget on what you want to spend. If you want to go down to 350 USD, you just have to know that the place that you choose may have issues, you know, like if you want to go super cheap, you may run into plumbing issues or hot water issues or different things. For us, we wanted to really not have to worry about a lot of that. Our place that we decided to go with, we have security 24 hours a day. That is a huge thing as well. Of course, Merida is safe, but you know, just being in a different place, and even in the States, wherever you live, security is just really good to have.
And also too, another thing to mention here at the place we're at, with the Face ID.
Oh yeah, we have Face ID.
So you can't even get up on the floor to get to the apartments or the homes
without having your face.
Yeah, so that's a really good.
You can't get into the building without having a Face ID or having a QR code from somebody that lives here. So it's not a place that you can just walk into. Right. So that's different. That's what we wanted, somewhere where we felt safe, and also that was convenient to walk around. Like we didn't plan on buying a car. I really don't care to have to deal with Ubers all the time, like to go to the store. Like if I could just walk across the street. And so for us, the place we chose, we have Walmart right across the street. We have another grocery store like 2 minutes away. Like it's not too much, so we don't have to always spend money on Ubers.
Also too, it just seemed like it's a huge misconception when it comes to being here in Mexico, or what people think of Mexico. I think it's important for us to kind of debunk those as well too. Yeah. Like when we talk about the prices and like the conversion is different. So can you describe?
Yeah. So basically, when I was looking at people's apartment tours and townhome tours and all of these tours before we moved here, and I was seeing places that were super cheap and there were a lot of bedrooms and stuff like that. But everybody has to remember this. I was looking at these videos from like 2020. That's when COVID was happening. The peso was like 20 to 1. Like now we're down to like 16, 17, and it fluctuates. So that means everything that was a little cheaper a few years ago, the price is different now. So a lot of people always say like, I saw this one and I saw this one. It's like, you have to remember, like you have to know when you're watching the video and make sure your research is up to date.
And too, like it really depends on the area. Yeah. Like, cause a lot of those places that we seen on like Facebook Marketplace, like all of those was outside of the, how you say it?
Yeah, like the highway, the main highway.
The main highway, yeah. And so you have to have a car.
Well,
like,
so I mean, Uber does run out there.
Well, they do, but it's still like,
it could be a wait.
Sketchy. Well, not sketchy.
It could be a wait.
Sketchy ain't the word, but like, yeah, it could be a wait.
Unreliable, I would say. Right. Because someone mentioned that a lot of realtors are pushing that, like saying that places outside, you need a car and stuff like that, when she was saying that wasn't true. But we went out, we were looking at some venues for our son's birthday party we were thinking about, and we went out there, and it took our Uber like 15 to 20 minutes to get there, and he got lost, so it was actually more than 20 minutes. We were waiting for a while, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, it wasn't really nothing out there, and so yeah, I like the convenience. So like, if you rather live cheaply and then just pay for Ubers and stuff, or get a car, then that'll work for you too.
I mean, it's all up to, you know, what you desire and what you want as well too.
Yeah.
And then I've seen a lot of comments where they were saying like these are expensive. You know, I can get something like that in America. And I was just curious to know like where in America would you find something like this with floor-to-ceiling windows, with restaurants down at the bottom,
downstairs,
with the security and all of that for the prices that we showed. Like these was like when we was in Dallas, like we was looking at something like this, and I was seeing stuff like 3,000 USD.
Yeah,
3,000 a month. Like if you go higher up on higher floors, it's even more higher than that.
Yeah.
And like America is just, the pricing for renting is getting outrageous. Where everything is getting outrageous. So
but
I'm just curious to know.
But also too, that's why we keep saying like you can find something in your price range. It just depends on how you want to live.
Right.
For us, we were comfortable with this budget because we were paying double that. We were paying like $2,700 in Dallas for our rent. So for coming here, this is a big
dramatic
cut. It's almost half of our rent that has been cut. And so like for like 1,500 or 11 to 1,500 range, maybe a whole lot for somebody else, but for us, we feel like that was a good amount.
Yeah, but also too, in our last video, we never said that we was gonna look for something that was cheap.
Yeah, like no.
We said the title of the or at least what I put on the thumbnail was like high-rise apartment tours. Exactly. So it wasn't like meant to be cheap apartment tours, you know. So it's all about perspective. Once again, like it all goes back to perspective and where your budget is for you, you know.
Yeah, I think another thing too, and this goes back to what we were talking about. I just feel like people have a misconception that it's dirt cheap here, and it's not.
It's not that.
It's not dirt cheap. I would say it's affordable. Yes, it is affordable, but it's not dirt cheap. It's like things are not 1 cent here, you know, like.
And the people here are not poor. Like,
I mean,
I mean, of course,
but it's just like
everywhere.
It's just like everywhere.
That's everywhere.
That's what I'm like. When we get here, it's people here that have more money than us. Like
it's business owners,
Mexicans that are business owners and
making money. It's just the only difference that I see with people. I mean, of course, I don't know their complete financial situation, but it's more so just the money in America or anywhere else is just the rate is just different. Yeah. But it's the same type of people. You got people that got money, you got people that's like on the poor end.
But that's everywhere. That's in the States. That's in, I'm from Memphis. That's in Memphis. Like, there are impoverished areas. There are areas where, you know, that are outside of Memphis that are nicer. The same with Dallas. You can go to South Dallas. You can be in North Dallas. Like, that's everywhere. So I'm like,
it's everywhere. Like, you got people that got money, they got wealth. That are Mexican. Yeah. And you got people that are poor that are Mexican as well. It's like, or I don't want to say poor, but like, you know, that's on the lower end.
Yeah. So, but I feel like that's a misconception. I don't know if people think it's because when I was doing my research, I did see like a lot of people talking about, oh, I live on $500 a month and stuff like that, and it's just like.
The stuff that you're gonna get for $500 a month, you're gonna get $500 a month.
But you may have issues with your power going out, with your Wi-Fi not
or a lot of bugs.
But that's a huge one. So that's a huge one too. People kept asking why we're looking at these amounts, blah blah blah. We wanted a place like this, like a higher floor, to be away from the bugs, and of course I know we're in a different place and all that, but I really don't want to I want to deal with as little bugs as possible. And I know out here like tarantulas are common, scorpions are common, and just, you know, a lot of bugs, and it's very common for houses or, you know, townhomes, houses, or just places that are lower to the floor. So I want it to be up to get away. I don't want to deal with tarantulas, especially with having a almost 1-year-old. Like, he likes to crawl around the floor and all that. Like, I don't want to have to deal with, I'm letting him play and it's a tarantula or a scorpion. Like, I don't want to deal with it.
That's tough.
And so those are things you have to think about as well, like being in a different place. I know, and like I said, I know we're in a different place. That's why I chose what I chose.
Right.
But you could choose cheaper. You just have to look around. And also there's another thing like flooding areas and stuff like that. We just thought about what would be best for us.
And what would like help us be comfortable.
Be comfortable, yeah.
And being in another place.
Another thing here, you can get furnished places, or you can get unfurnished places.
That is a very important thing to mention as well too.
Yeah.
Because our place came furnished as well, and a lot of the places that we had in the other video were also furnished.
Yeah.
So I don't know many places in America that if it's furnished, it's gonna be way higher than that as well too. And what we mean by furnished is like the couch, TVs, beds.
A lot of them came with pots and pans, came with a lot of
bookshelves.
Like, it just depends. They also, a lot of places have options to do unfurnished or furnished, and unfurnished is usually cheaper, so that's an option as well. I did see people, and I'm like, I feel like Americans, I don't know if I'm just speaking because I'm an American, but I feel like Americans always feel like Mexicans are trying to get off on you, and like they're like, that's a tourist tax, and that's a blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the case in all situations. Like, if you want to stay in a nicer area, you're gonna pay a little bit more. Like, don't expect to stay in a really nice area with security and with restaurants at the bottom and with all of these fancy equipment and pools and all of that and pay $300 a month. That's not gonna happen. Like, that's not, if y'all know somewhere, maybe in other parts of Mexico, but here, that's not gonna happen. Like, you have to be realistic. And like, a lot of people, I told you, they see other people TikToks and stuff like that. Some of these people are lying to y'all about prices just to get views. Some of these people, the videos are old, so like, everything, you have to make sure you have up-to-date research.
But please feel free to comment, you know, if you disagree, or maybe you know some places, or maybe you research some places and it's up to date, and you can educate us, you know. So we're open to it. And the comment section is where you can also, you know, pitch in and be involved in this. Like, we're not discouraging anybody to stop commenting, or, you know, please feel free to share your opinion.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on that, because a lot of people, they always feel like they're raising the price on you, and that because you're special. And it's like, no, I literally saw 3 apartments in our building on Facebook Marketplace for a little higher than we pay. So I'm like, everybody, like, it's not just you. Like, this price is universal. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna charge them and I'm gonna do it because they're American and I'm gonna rate, like, I mean, that can happen, but
of course, don't be naive,
right? But you have
gotta
to
be
realistic.
open-minded and know that, you know, it's similar places. You know, it's similar no matter where you go in the world. And I mean, it's all a part of just learning and figuring it out.
But I don't want people to feel like that any price that you are quoted from a Mexican is automatically trying to get. Like, that's not always the case. Like, that's not the case. So
I don't know. I feel like all of this is worth it for sure, because I remember a few years back when we were staying in Memphis, we was paying like around $1,200 USD, and we had 2-bedroom, but it didn't have like all of the stuff that we have here. Like, so
we decided.
But that was a few years ago as well too. But
they raised the
prices. So,
and I saw somebody saying like, I can get this in America. And so also the thing for us, we moved to Mexico not just because of the prices. So if you just moving for the prices, then go as low as possible, you know, to make whatever makes you comfortable.
And it is out here. We just didn't show those in our video.
We weren't looking for those.
To be clear, it is definitely places out here that's cheap and lower. So
yeah, I mean, you just gotta weigh out the pros and cons of what you're gonna deal with or what you want to sacrifice to get a cheaper price.
Right.
But for us, we didn't move here necessarily because of the price. Like, we moved here because we want to immerse ourselves in the culture. We want to get away from America, and we want our son to grow up bilingual. So he's going to learn both at the same time. He's going to be immersed in the culture. And yeah, we wanted something different. So for us, like, you can say, oh yeah, I can find something for $1,100 to $1,500 in America. Yeah, you can, but that's really not the reason we came here. And yeah, you can, like I said, but you're not gonna find a high rise for that amount. If y'all find a high rise for that amount, send it my way, because I want to see. Because I wanted a high rise in Dallas, but I was not willing. We could have paid it. I was just not willing to pay $3,500, $4,000, $5,000 a month for an apartment. Like,
it's wild.
No,
it's so wild.
I mean, hey,
yeah, it's crazy. One of the things I wanted to mention that just blew my mind was that we just recently had the daylight savings.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking that it's the same as America. And I had looked it up and found out that in 2022 or 2022, they abolished the daylight savings. So now in Mexico, so now we're basically on mountain time, right? And we're an hour behind because America's
But we were
forward.
At first we were on Central time. Yeah, so first we were on Central time here, and then we noticed that day that we didn't change, so we're on Mountain time. So yeah, that's something to think about too. It doesn't really change, just Mountain time now.
I mean, it was basically, it blew my mind because your mom had called, and it was like
7 a.m.
calling so early.
Yeah, she called at like 7 a.m. I'm like, is something happening? And she like, what you doing? Like, she talking to me as if it's not 7 a.m.
And then I'm also the chat moderator at our church. And so I get up and I'm supposed to be on there at a certain time. And then I realized that I was 30. Well, I was supposed to get on there at a certain time. And I was just getting on YouTube and seeing that they were live. And so I was already 30 minutes late. I'm like, oh shoot. So then that's when I realized, that's when I looked it up to see what they do about daylight savings time, and found out that they abolished it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just so interesting. I wonder why America want to keep it the same, but
I don't know. But yeah, someone also mentioned in the comments about they're noticing that a lot of Black people are moving here, and are we gonna immerse ourselves in the culture and traditions and meet Mexican people and learn the language and all of that, or are we just gonna stick to our crowd? And he also asked, like, do we all live around each other? Like, so number one, no. This city has over 1 million people in it, and all of the Black people are spread out. Like, you're not gonna find like a whole community with like 50 families of Black people in. No, we're all spread out.
Spread out because it's based on what people desire.
What you desire and what their budget is. And it's a lot of places, a lot of areas. So
a lot of different areas.
We're not all just like grouped together. And yeah, we have a group, but it's still not as many of us as people think.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good amount, but it's not like thousands on thousands on thousands. Like, no.
I definitely want to say I'm open to finding like also like other races and other, I guess not races, but like nationalities.
Yeah.
And definitely open to Mexican friends as well too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I would actually really like that.
Yeah, I feel like it'll help our journey out a whole lot more. And I can definitely say, like, with our Black groups, sometimes it kind of can feel weird, just because you're dealing with like a different type of people. Like, it's not just Black Americans coming over, it's like all over the world.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it takes a second to find your crowd and to gel and to really get connected.
Yeah, it does. And people, that's what I was gonna say, people get excited about moving here and they're like, oh, so many Black people, blah blah blah. But you gotta remember, everybody is different. We have some Black people that's from like the North and New York and those type of vibes. We're from the South, so we have the Southern people. Then we have people like that's from Cali, and so like all of us are different. We're not just Black people and Black Americans. We all don't act the same. We all do different things.
Yeah.
And so that's something to think about. Like, you're not gonna immediately just come here and be welcomed and I mean, I didn't expect that, but I know some people do, and just ready to meet up with everybody and mingle. It's like, people got lives, people got stuff to do. So yeah, I don't.
Also, too, it's not just like I was saying, Black Americans. It's also Jamaicans,
also,
like,
Haitians.
Yeah, it's so many.
It's a lot of different like
people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So we just, we just finding our way, finding our crowd, and for like seriously, we open to finding friends and finding a community that we can actually be a part of. We husband and wife. We got a son. He's about to turn 1 actually.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're just looking for our crew.
I was about to mention something. Oh yeah, just back to what he was saying. So yes, so we are enrolled in Spanish lessons. We do those weekly, and so we're learning more and more. And yeah, we do.
We're learning sign language as
well. We're
well.
learning sign language with our Spanish.
Which that helps remember the words and helps us to, like, we don't know how to say the word, at least we got the sign language. Yeah. And that'll help us recall. Yeah, so yeah, we do plan on like mingling with all Mexicans, whoever else want to mingle with us. We open. We just moved here, so we're just trying to like really settle in and get on a flow to start getting out. But yeah, can y'all in the comments, if y'all here already, if y'all are Mexican, if y'all anybody that's ever been here, like drop below, like where can we go to find people? Like where does the people that's hang out? Because you had your last tech. She was saying how y'all had a conversation and basically saying how sometimes black people or just Americans don't really like it seemed as if we don't really like want to mingle, but that's not the case at all. Like trust me, we do desire it. We just got to figure out how to, because it's like, of course, the language barrier, but we do know that a lot of people speak English as well too. It's just breaking that ice. That's what she said. Last text she mentioned, she was like, it seems like y'all are just scared to talk, and it's like, because like, especially if you're not fluent in Spanish, like I know some things, but trying to have a conversation, sometimes I have to think about it and translate it in my head before it just takes too long. So it's like a lot of people are nervous to just speak and talk. Then one of the things that I've seen that I'm having kind of an issue with is like, it's so like I'm so used to speaking English that as soon as I come up to people, English just come out of my mouth. So not only trying to speak Spanish and put my mind into Spanish, but also turning my mind on to listen for the Spanish words. And then you start speaking English and I'm still listening for Spanish. And it's like, it blows my mind because I'm listening for Spanish and then you say like, hello. And I'm like, oh, they just spoke in English. Oh, so you speak English. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah, I really wish America like pushed it more. Like, cause they have it in our schools, but it's not like we don't. I didn't learn it. My school, we didn't learn it until high school, and it was like a class. It wasn't even like a whole like curriculum. Like I see here that they have curriculums based in English and Spanish. Like for us, it was like. Spanish is like an extra class, but it's not. It wasn't taken seriously, and I wish I would have. But that's why we're here. We're here to learn. I'm open to all the traditions and cultures, like and to experience anything. So, if any Mexicans see this and y'all live here, y'all can hit us up. Reach out to us. We're here. Teacher. Right, we're here to learn. And be open and be in a different place. Open to friendships. Right, and that's another thing too. I would really love that, like to have different nationalities. That's why I really want to learn Spanish as well too, because we're here in y'all country. Yeah. I don't expect y'all to cater into us and speak English to us. So we're learning so that we can. We really desire it. Yeah. Like we really desire to put ourselves here and. Like make friends in Spanish. But yeah, that's about it. We just wanted to address a few things that we saw. Let us know in the comments if you have any more questions or any more videos. I told my husband I do not want us to be like a Mexico guide. Like I'm not from here. I don't want to be a guide. We can just let y'all know our experience with different things. But we're not like gonna be telling y'all about the history and all that, because we're not from here. Like I would rather y'all watch somebody that's born here, born in Mexico, that can really give y'all the tours and all of that y'all need. We're here just to share our experience.
and allow y'all to go through this journey with us.
Let us know some video ideas y'all got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching. We'll
thanks
see
so
y'all
much.
soon.
Peace.
Peace.